Live! Hey guys, Luna here, and welcome to another episode of That Crypto Hustle. Super excited for today's episode. Sean Donato from Opti Token is here with me again today. Hey Sean, how's it going?
Good, thank you, Luna. How are you?
Doing great.
You going to the conference? You're at a conference this week, right?
Yeah, so this week is the North America Bitcoin conference here in Miami. I'm actually headed there right after this. Exciting.
Cool.
So I'll let you guys know who was there, the kind of attendance as well, because last year that conference was popping. I think things are going to be a lot slower this year, so it's going to be interesting to see who's going to show up and also some of the panels. Brooke Pierce is going to be there, by the way. I think I missed.
Huh?
Brooke Pierce is at the conference. Yeah.
Cool.
It's going to be pretty cool.
I like Brock. I met him before. I thought he was nice.
Yeah.
We gave him a ride. I gave him a ride back from Las Vegas to Los Angeles.
Did you really?
Yeah, I met him at a conference in Vegas, and him and my dear friend, crypto friend Francesco from Holy Transaction. I gave him and Brock a ride back. It was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah, learned a lot.
That's fun. Coolio. Yeah, no, he's a really nice guy. I briefly spoke to him at the Blockchain Cruise event. That was this summer, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not buddies with him like you are. You know, so yeah, I wanted to talk about today, essentially looking at the chart, Bitcoin, been getting a lot of questions as to whether or not Bitcoin will recover. It's been in a lot of people's mind. That's something we've been talking about these last few weeks, but why don't we just take a look at the chart? So what are some of the things that you've seen this week compared to last week, and where do you think we're headed? Is there any manipulation as well happening?
Well, we were talking about manipulation, and so the thing is I don't really think it's manipulated in a grand conspiratorial sense, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's some I just personally don't think there's some small group who's trying to flip the price around and just whipsaw everybody. What I do think happens is there's there's a lot of manipulation just in more of a micro level. And the proof in that is spoofing you'll see on places like BitMEX. And what spoofing is when somebody comes in with a really large order into the order book, and it's kind of it's basically like if you were you grab all your chips at a poker table, you're about to make a big action, and hey, I'm gonna go all in, and it kind of affects people on the other side of that trade. So, so if somebody opens a very large sell limit order at say $7 or $8, maybe above the price or the spot price, then it shows in the order book. So you'll see this big. There's going to be an inefficiency. There's you'll see one side of the buy is looking like this, and the sells are have a huge mountain on them. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to explain it in in simplest of terms. So that's manipulation. You know what I mean? The thing is, it's not really illegal. Cryptocurrency is still super gray. There's no law. No one's governing over that stuff. There's no law against doing stuff like that. So, if somebody's doing that, in one sense, you can't really blame them if they found something that's profitable.
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks when it's on the sell side, because we all, if you're like, if you think Bitcoin's awesome and, cryptocurrency's really cool, then like they're kind of like, anybody who's doing anything to like hurt the price, it's like, hey, like what the fuck, man? So
I actually want to share, because this week or last week, everyone was sharing their 10-year challenge. Did you see the one for Bitcoin?
Oh, no.
I thought I would share that. So essentially, in 2009, it was worth 0.1 USD, and now 2019, it's at 300, 650. I mean, in that range, right? So just the very fact that in 10 years, we've seen such an increase, it's foretelling. And obviously, another cryptocurrency could come and change the game. However, because Bitcoin has been around for 10 years, and yes, even though it's having sort of technical issues, if you will, like I don't see why it wouldn't be around for 10 more years,
That's awesome.
That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I mean, like, like people, like, the thing is, it's like nobody can say, like, hey, like, like no one person or, like, group can say, like, hey, we're not using Bitcoin anymore. Because at the end of the day, it's just like if I find it valuable as a way of like, transferring value from myself to you, or accepting, value from you to myself, then like no one can then that's between us, So there's, that's a point. There's no, it's decentralized in that sense. So,
well, and on top of it, more and more retailers are accepting Bitcoin. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Totally. So as long as that has, relevance, I mean, unless like, I don't really see how it would lose relevance. Like, like any scenario I play out, I mean, bank transfers are a hassle. They're slow. They cost money. I did a bank transfer yesterday. It cost $45. Mm-hmm. Why? I don't know. They called it a currency exchange fee.
Wow.
So, it's like, come on, dude, you're a freaking bank. You don't need, $45 to exchange a currency. Like if I walk into a branch, you guys aren't charging that. If I go and buy some euros, I mean, you're probably just going to give me a shitty exchange rate. But, yeah, so as long as there's those issues, and then it's not instant, it takes time.
Yep.
There's 100 different, they might say like, hey, this is suspicious. Like, we don't want to, because it's to a different country. And so it can just, it can just create all types of issues that are really like unnecessary. So, yeah.
So why don't we look at the chart and kind of compare where we are today as to where we were last week. See how things are moving. Yeah, and just like looking at the news really quickly, so, and this is from News BTC, so there's a really high demand for Bitcoin. Apparently, Binance is seeing massive registration in Europe, so that's great news.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so let me see.
I wonder if if you like put a heat map on it, if it would, a lot of it's in France or where that's,
Oh, yes. With the yellow jackets, probably. That could be interesting to see.
I was hoping that would have more of an effect on price because, I don't know, that can just spur things sometimes, And it's like, because that could spur a movement where it's like, hey, everybody do it in the crypto community, Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know, it's just, something like that's good to do, like to like kind of see, like, hey, like, like, don't forget, like, you're the bank, but you're not like an almighty power or something, like, Mm-hmm. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah, we're all set.
This is that new tool I was playing with down here, the DVDI. I've been having fun with it. I haven't, like, the day I found it, there had just recently been the Signal, and the Signal looks to be really cool. I talked about it.
Can you show us again where the DVDI is? So we can get a refresher?
Where?
Yeah.
Right here.
Okay.
And the idea was on the hour map, on the hour chart, sorry. Let's see if I can switch it harmlessly. on the hour chart, a move like this, okay, where we have, I was using the PVI, the positive volume indicator, but I want to try to see if I can fit in the other end of that, which is the negative volume indicator. Basically, like when you have volume, you have two things, okay? You have positive and you have negative. The positive is buys and the negative is sells, okay? So there is essentially two types of volume, but when we talk about volume, we usually just think about it as like transactions, like one, we don't really by default differentiate the types. So here, what I had found was when the positive in the PVI deviated sharply across zero by 5 units to the down, or it could be the opposite from here to up, from negative to positive. That seems to have some kind of relevance in telling in price on a short-term time frame. So, and the reason that's important and like it's cool to find indicators like that is because this move coincides with this large move down candle. Well, this can happen without having volume. Like this volume bar is very large.
Yeah, what happened there?
It can be really telling. Volume like that is really telling. Let's see the date.
January 10th.
Well, I don't really think anything happened. It's just I think we failed to break above. Okay, that was when we never got over 4,200, 4,230 resistance. And it looks like that's just kind of when it was like, the bulls probably just basically ran out of steam. I don't remember if there's anything like in the news or something that kind of caused some panic, but I doubt there was anything really that interesting. That might have been the India news where like India was. I don't know if that had any effect on price though. The Indian banks are like trying to make people sign contracts that they agree they won't use or like touch cryptocurrencies or something. So that's that tool. I just want to remind people about that. It's pretty cool. I'm still looking at it a lot. I'm trying to I would love to set up like an alert system for it to look for it because daily I've been going through and just manually scanning through like not only cryptocurrencies but also like stocks, commodities, and I'm looking to find because these show up, they show up and but they're not really common. But when they happen, you can see like if you were to even enter, this looks like a late entry kind of in a way. It looks like you missed a lot of the party. But the thing is, I believe that the volume here tells a story, and that's that this move is not all that is in. That's not all the juice that's in the. There's more juice to be squeezed out. So, as you can see, there was. Anyways, let's go back to that chart we were at. On a short time frame, I have another new weapon, I'll call it, that's really cool. Let me see if I can... sorry. Alright. So now I have my new little toy, I'll call it, is this the slingshot system that a guy I speak with a little bit, Donovan, he's really good at like creating these awesome scripts on here, and I just recently kind of introduced myself to. I was only like I'll always give credit where credit's due, and I haven't given credit to many people, and he's definitely one deserving of it. So his name's just Donovan on TradingView. If you want to check him out, I don't know how else to. I don't know his last name or anything. It's just So I think it's
TradingView is a group that you're on Telegram or?
No, TradingView is this website.
Ah, cool. Yeah,
it's like the go-to for charts. I mean, it really is. Like, there's competitor chart systems and websites and services for sure. There's like Bitcoin Wisdom is one that's pretty good. People use. But I mean, TradingView is definitely probably like the go-to. And you can draw data from like pretty much like any exchange, multiple coins, as long as there's like, you know, decent volume and kind of like, you know, not like some like random no-name exchange coin on a no-name exchange. You can usually find a lot of stuff here, and you can look at oil, you can look at gold, you can look at stocks, whatever.
Oh, that's pretty wicked.
Yeah, for sure. You can compare them together.
So what are we looking at again? Sorry.
Well, this is the Bitcoin 12-hour. I think this is where we had been. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, we already talked about, I guess I touched on the manipulation. So yeah, I don't really, you know, like, it's manipulated on, I think Bitcoin's manipulated on a micro scale, more than on some kind of a macro level. Although people say that like, last year, like, you know, there was like a lot of tether buying of Bitcoin, and like why it turned into some like witch hunt, I have no idea. It's like, awesome, man. You guys want to come in and like buy the hell out of Bitcoin? Like, that's amazing. That's so cool. Because the number one marketing tool is price appreciation. So, yeah, you know, I mean, so that's going to bring adoption, you know. So, yeah, I don't know what the argument on that was, but...
So who would be the small players? Would it be us as a community, the crypto community, or would it be larger corporation, like institutions?
Mostly the only type of manipulation I see is stuff like fake news and spoofing of markets. So anybody can do that. If I have even like if I have 20 Bitcoin on BitMEX, maybe like 100 Bitcoin, and I go in and put a sell order of like, and I go like, you know, 50x or like 100x, then even at that amount, I might be able to like, you know, affect markets. If I, you know, it's risky because someone might come and be like, oh, I'm gonna buy that, you know, like you're not a whale, you know, I'm buying that. So you gotta be careful, you know. So it wouldn't probably be wise to do that, but there are people out there with a lot of Bitcoin, and so they can put up, you know, like they can put up a sell order that, you know, that's like 50 Bitcoin leveraged 100 times. What is that? Was that 5 million?
I think
USD?
So. I don't know. I have to do the math.
The math is just messed up right now. Because they use USD on there, which also kind of confuses me a little bit. All right, let's look. Let's look. 30. Let's say 3,500 times
50.
That equals 175,000.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they used like 10x leverage, that's not very big. How about 25x leverage? Right there, you have a sell order. You would have a sell order of 4.3 million USD. So that would show up on the order book as a, you know, I want to think about how to. Let's look at an order book. Why not? Let's see what comes up. I don't have an account at BitMEX. Because I'm a U.S. citizen, and also I think they're shady. I don't like the way they use their, like, I think they're really scandalous with that mark pricing. Let's just not go into that, but like they're scandalous. Mark pricing is that.
But a lot of the crypto influencers use them. Interesting.
Yeah, because they're like the only show in town, you know. There's, you know, like it's probably semi-safe to say that they're not going to just disappear with everybody's money overnight. You know, like they are, like, you know, somewhat like held accountable. Like, you know, the CEO is like a U.S. citizen. He's kind of like, you know, Which I mean, they're like if he had disappeared everybody's money, like even though they're not like a U.S. company, like they're gonna like U.S. like authorities will like look into that, and plus he has like reputation, so there's just a lot of reasons that like they are used, okay. But that being said, I hate that like they allow like the heavy spoofing, and I hate that they use this mark pricing, which is really shady and like weird, and it's bizarre, and they just liquidate stuff for no reason sometimes. I mean, like there's like horror stories from that, and I think that they're not investigated enough and held accountable enough. We talked about too, like Arthur Hayes is like, like he can be like the timing of some of the stuff he comes out and says is really like it's really kind of suspicious. Oh, Bitcoin to 2000, and like like. Bitcoin probably isn't the long-term thing. I mean, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's the way the timing of it is just like you don't have to be a genius to be like, dude, you're really suspect right now. And we're like, the timing you come out and say stuff like that. If anything, if Bitcoin's down, like if you're kicking a dog and like the dog's down, why come up and kick it? If so unless you have some kind of agenda, because we can't say that that's his permanent stance, because now lately he's been, all of a sudden he's been saying good things about Bitcoin. Okay, did you guys like load up or something like around 3,000? I don't know. Who knows? There's no way to tell.
So let's go back, to looking at the order book, and talking about manipulation,
And I went off track there.
Gotta reel you back in.
Reel me back in. All right. Well, we just talked about using 50 Bitcoins leveraged 25 times. You could put up an order around this size, just one person. So then if there are other people who are creating limit sell orders at this price, then that will be aggregated here. So I don't think this looks really suspicious. It looks like this, and this is kind of, around the same level. Now the thing is when if this jumps up to like 10 million, and it's all the way up here, and then it disappears real quick, it's kind of like someone, you see what I'm saying? That's called spoofing. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to scare this side of these buys. They want these people who are putting these buys in here and here to back off, to walk their bids back, to and we'll have, so then we have price movement. That is manipulation, but it's not illegal. So,
could it be made illegal?
Sure. And I mean, as cryptocurrency becomes more regulated, like there'll probably be all types of stuff that changes. I mean, a lot of these exchanges are going to get shut down. Who knows how they're going to react? Are they going to allow withdrawals? Or be careful where you put your money at. You kind of want to it's hard to kind of identify integrity, but if you are, if you can identify that, that's probably your best bet is probably to use exchanges that are headquartered in places that have that hold their companies accountable, like places like the U.S. actually, UK. I don't really know. I'm not an expert on geos. Yeah, I mean, Australia, Canada, these are places that are kind of preferable to have, your exchange's headquarters be in, for those reasons. And, so a lot will get shut down. A lot of exchanges will probably have, they'll have to register and to go through a lot of qualifications to become a certified exchange eventually is my guess, because there'll be guidance and rules created. Who will govern all those, I'm not sure. I like IMF. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be that high up, or it'll be just kind of some Global Securities Council or
something. And so, Sean, okay, so is there any way to use this information that we get from BitMEX in order to look at the Bitcoin price and be able to predict whether or not there could be a slump up or down? Like, do you ever go in there to sort of like do price prediction and use your charts as well? Or is that completely irrelevant?
Well, I don't use it personally, but I know, I think that it's, it's really a good, okay, I'll tell you about, I have one friend who does, and he trades successfully. I don't know how he does it, though. I mean, he get out of here. I'm sorry, there was like a little thing popped up. He does it successfully. I still, he'll be like, I think, and it's almost like, it seems like kind of speculative to me, but at the same time, he has a lot of profitable trades, and I really respect his opinion as a newer friend. And so I'm not really I'm not in a rush to find out how he does it, because I kind of have stuff that works for me. Other people find stuff that works for them, and that's cool. But it's interesting to hear his points of views, his stuff, what he says. Also, orders can be hidden, so that that just makes a whole nother level. Okay, so yeah, good luck trying to figure all that out. I don't know if a big order comes in here, like a wall, you'll hear the word sell wall, buy wall. That's when a giant, basically just block of buys comes in and takes up the whole thing. Maybe right here. If you just have a wall, this green thing's filled all the way to the top here, that is a wall.
What does it mean?
It means the buyers are coming in. Money's coming in, and it might be real, it might be spoofy. It's hard to say, but that's
so. Can we maybe compare it to the chart? Would you be able to see anything there?
No, because this doesn't seem to be correlated with time.
Got it.
This is volume. I mean, in a sense, this is kind of this isn't the same as volume, but it is depth, so it's orders open. Now, they would have to be transacted, so they'd have to be executed to become volume. So volume is very telling, and a lot of people don't understand how to use it. That's okay, but it is very telling, can be used. This is a 15-minute chart, and you're not going to want to really, it's not going to be.
Okay, but when you look at this depth chart, though, when you zoomed in, it looked like the buyers are coming in, but then now that you're zoomed out, you see more of the red. The depth chart in the bottom.
I don't know if we zoomed out or what, or I don't really know how this works with the time frames.
Oh, got it.
Just because I'm not familiar, I don't know their market, I don't know. This doesn't say what this is based off of, unfortunately. Time frame. I think it's just in general, in the moment. So, open. So it's not really correlated to an exact time frame. So that's just how quickly it changes. If you saw it change, that's just how quickly. That wasn't because we zoomed out or in.
Got it.
So here you go. We got some. It's pretty interesting, you can sit and watch it, and you have these little battles going on right here, right? Mm-hmm. And the sell side is a little bit ahead right now, but what does that mean? I mean, that doesn't, that can change instantly. That can change very fast. So that's why I don't really pay attention too much.
So let's go back. Yeah.
Go ahead. What's up?
No, I was just gonna say, let's go back to the Bitcoin chart then.
Sure. Yeah. This is an interesting little thing here. It's a bearish flag or what? Not really. Alrighty. Where were we? Do you want to look at Ethereum? I can tell you about Bitcoin too.
Yeah, let's continue Bitcoin since we're already on that stream.
Ethereum looks pretty interesting today.
We can look at after.
Sure, yeah, I'm looking at the 12-hour, and we have moving averages, resistance here. Mm-hmm. So if we are on a decent candle. We are on a green candle. It's not like an amazing candle, but at least it's green. Mm-hmm. Before that, we had a bearish little situation, but it's basically, as of now, not really, it's not something to trade on. We do have slippage levels here, and these are based on previous lows. Our low for this, let's see, this was the 13th. That's this week. Our low, well, I think this is Monday. Is this Monday? Whatever. Close enough. So this low right here is something we're going to want to watch, which was 35.70 on Bitfinex. A break below basically implies that, it's just very bearish and implies we're probably going to go even lower. Now, if we can hold that level long enough, or, if it attempts to hit it and doesn't break through, then the opposite may become true as to where, okay, we were able to hold that level, and now maybe we'll go try to seek the price, higher prices again, and test these moving averages. So, on the upside, here at the, let me go to the day chart. So this blue line right here is the 50-day moving average, and it's been traditionally really a relevant piece of information. It just has been over time of Bitcoin. We can scan back and look. Is it perfect? No, but it's absolutely telling. It's also the first barrier if we want to go higher. So why wouldn't we, take a peek at it? So let's go even farther out, actually. So, okay, this isn't a really long time, but here you can see that before that we were below it and just kind of bearish. We broke above it, and we had a short little run. Tried to do things. You can't it didn't do a lot. It didn't hold very long, but we gave it a try here. This hump right here was a try to go back to. And
that was in July. Yeah.
Yes, and as you can see, the 50 moving average was crossed there. And it was, it didn't hover and go over. It was something that we, crossed, and there was a trend change. So then, when we crossed back below it, we kind of went bearish again. So it's not it's not the almighty, but it's a really good tool. It's been relevant over Bitcoin's history. I could go back farther and farther and show you that it has been super relevant. So there's no reason not to continue to use it. Look, we're above it here, and we're in a huge parabolic move up. Acted as support here, and we tried to give it a go again to go higher, new highs. We didn't find them, and we eventually came back down, and we dropped under that and have been extremely bearish since. So the 50-day moving average it's a really simple tool, and it's really relevant and telling. With moving averages, remember they are average. A lot of people don't talk about this, or maybe maybe this isn't fact. But I can tell you that I've been watching moving averages for a really long time, and they're averages. So I don't think that they act perfectly as to where they have to be touched exactly and bounced off of. I think they should be drawn with a thicker line. Basically, is what I'm saying, because
And you only do a 50-day moving average.
No. This is a really telling one.
What's another one that you use? How many days?
All right, I'll tell you just in just a sec. Let me look at this real quick. The 50-day here is at... Where is the 50-day? The 50-day here is around 38. I think it's around 38.42. Actually, I just know that, okay, because I watch this stuff. It's around 38.40. I would say that it's safe to say that moving average is like $20 to $30 wide, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So around 20, maybe 38, 25 to like 38.55 is probably safe to say that's where around that moving average resistance and support lies. So it's an average. Anyways, what was your question? I'm sorry. So okay.
You look at 50 days moving average. Is there another time frame you look at?
This brown one here is 128 day.
Okay.
This one here is 200. This yellow line. The bigger a moving average is, the more of like it basically like supersedes the one before it.
So you never look at anything smaller than 50?
No, I do. There's we have the 20-day, but it's really flimsy, and I think I mentioned that before. It's super flimsy, but still it can be very useful. We can use it to see when it crosses. If it crosses over the 50, that can be a good sign. If it crosses under, it can still be act as support or resistance, but it's really flimsy. So I take it with a grain of salt, that moving average. It's in here somewhere in gray. Just don't even see it. So yeah, that being said, our upside, what we have to kind of worry about crossing, if we want to, have some kind of recovery up to like 4,800 or people, I don't know, I've heard a lot of targets. People want to, be between 6,000 and 3,000 or 2,000 and 5,000. I don't even, everybody has different ideas, which is cool. But we need to cross that one first. So
the 3,800 moving average? The 3,800
so moving average,
we need to cross that.
It's at 38.21, okay? Mm-hmm. But it's going to also, it changes daily because it's a moving average. So it's above us. We would need to cross and sustain above it. We tried to get above it over here. It didn't hold.
Yeah, that was like a week ago. Yeah.
He gave it a try, but it wasn't able to break through.
I see.
So on the downside, we have this, which is this is old, basically an old low, and from just previous times, and this is our downside. It's not even support. It's basically like, hey, if you fall below, it's like basically like an acceleration line, more or less. Mm-hmm. If we fall below this, we should slip down farther and faster. So that's at 34.75, I think. There are your relevant levels for Bitcoin. So, on a short-term basis, those are levels we want to watch. If we break above the higher one, we have some good volume going. This is shitty volume here. We have some volume like this, then we might try to go up and test this next moving average again soon, which is it's around 52.70. And if we don't, if we go to the downside, get some good volume going, slip under here, then we're probably going to we'll go test previous lows, like in the week chart. So we will go revisit this 200 week support, which held us last time. Now we're in the week chart, so now our units are a week, our candles are a week. So the 200 candles, 200 MA is 200 weeks. That's what this is.
So we're probably expecting that we're gonna continue going downward spiral.
There's nothing really that can say that it's absolutely going to go down from here. But momentum most certainly is on the downside still. It just is. These are all red, big candles, and there's nothing that says that disinvalidates this bearish shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't have a long wick or a doji, just something to work with. A doji at like the support. We don't really have something to work with yet. Mm-hmm. So but that doesn't mean it's absolute. But that means momentum is still on the bearish side. So
yeah, cool. So let's look at Ethereum now. So Ethereum, there's like some news because there's some delays. Let's see. I saw it on Twitter.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
There's some delays with Ethereum. Constantinople delay.
Oh, really? What's going on in the news? Tell me.
Tell us. Ethereum major Constantinople upgrade was delayed after blockchain audit firm Chain Security discovered a security issue with one of the changes. This is from CoinDesk. So essentially like delays because of security vulnerability. This was released a day ago.
Well, to me, I mean, someone might take that as bad news, but to me, that kind of sounds like good news that they're, taking caution.
Yeah, and that they saw it now versus later.
Yeah, I mean, what's the rush, really? I mean, we're waiting a while. I don't think this is like the final upgrade or whatever. So it makes no difference if it's now or next week or month to me. I don't know. But did they say a date or anything? Like when there is a forking event happening. I'm not sure if it's I haven't even looked into what kind of a fork it is.
I'm looking now. So if there's like a new date.
I know it's a hard fork.
Yeah, it was previously expected to activate last year, but delayed after issues were found while launching the upgrade on the Raspbian testnet. So it doesn't really say what's the new. I mean, I guess they're trying to figure it out.
I do know that. Let me get this noise out of here. I do know that this one is a hard fork, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a chain split where it's like I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a one chain deal. And there's not going to be like a Barry Silbert who comes in and says, hey, we like the old chain better, we're going to continue on there. Although, that being said, there's money to be made, shit will happen. So somebody could come in and say, hey, like, we don't like the fork you did, but we do like where it was, we're going to take it and fork it this other way.
No, I'm looking now from Bloomberg Crypto. Essentially it's saying that it's mostly under the hood technical tweaks.
Yeah, no, it is. I know, but I'm pretty sure it's still a hard fork.
Is that?
Which means there will be a chain split. Like the chain is going to change. So somebody could pick up where they left off. It's not like in BCH it was a hard fork where it was like a dead split. Where it was like, hey, we just forked the chain. We're going this way. You're going that way. Whereas and they were, so that happened. I'm not going to go into that whole...
Let's look at the charts.
Okay, but yeah, that being said, that affects the price right now. Mm-hmm. So that's why we're talking about it. When people hear fork now, they're like, oh, free money, Bitcoin Cash. I remember a fork, Bitcoin, that whole deal. I mean, do you remember when Bitcoin Cash was on 3,000 at one point? I sold two of them, and Bitcoin had been down to 5,500. I got I sold 2 BCH for a Bitcoin once. It was so awesome. I just wish I had some more, but I was like, shit, maybe it's gonna go even higher, So I did get. I was trying to be a little greedy. I thought it might go to 3,500, 4,000, and I missed selling more at that intersection. Anyways, so yeah, when people hear this fork, they don't even have to say hard fork. Just hear fork, they hear money. So recently, in the past days, as the announcements unrolled, we saw this all being priced in. Not all of this was that being priced in. Some of this was just recovery from just the shitty rundown. But like here, this looks like a little, this kind of looks like, hey, like this has to do with the fork coming. And so even if Ethereum forks and somebody pops out of nowhere, who knows who, I don't know who, we'll see who it is, because somebody will probably do this. And they say, we're going to continue on the most recent Ethereum blockchain, but we're going to change it this way or something. And we're going to fork it later on. We're continuing on this chain. So you have 2 coins on your chain now. If somebody does that, then the coin that's not the consensus coin will probably only be worth a few dollars. But there's a lot of money valued in. Like the last time this happened, like with Ethereum Classic was only worth a few dollars. So like, why is this coin going to be worth any more? But like all this $40 to $50 of like goodwill came in to the price. So that's way overpriced. I really wanted to short Ethereum here, but I was kind of scared too, because of, with a fork. I mean, like it could have ran up even higher. I just kind of wussed out, I guess. So that happens sometimes. I had some people with higher target I was talking to, and sometimes we listen to noise. But anyways, so the 50-day moving average on Bitcoin was sitting above Bitcoin. Well, here it's sitting below Ethereum. So right here it's acting as support. This blue line is the 50-day as well. Mm-hmm. And here it's acting as support. And we can go back in time and see if this is something that's relevant to Ethereum. And I mean, it's similar that it's not like, it's not the alpha and omega, but it looks kind of telling, it looks to be pretty relevant, it's here at some point back here, we were above it, and we remained above it. When we were above it, we had a tendency to go higher, like to go really high. When below it, we had a tendency to get like super ugly. So, and here we are again, above it, break here. Well, there's a good chance that we might go like bam and make all this. So, and then we cross back below it. There's a good tendency we go. You see what I'm saying? These are trading opportunities essentially. It's telling. It's telling of what the price is doing. So, now as we move further along, it hasn't broke. That's interesting. It hasn't broke back over since here. When it broke here, we had a really nice run up. The price difference is like, sheesh. This was when the price dropped down to like 4. It dropped way down to like 400. Everybody was super depressed, but then it came all the way back up to 800. That's crazy. That's a huge run back up. I remember when that was happening too. Yeah, I mean, that's just wild stuff.
Well, I mean, it's gone quite down since. It's insane. Look at that.
Yeah. So, we got to be careful because it's still the end. It can be telling, but it's not the alpha and omega. Here we saw it pass the 200. There was all types of activity happening here, actually. That's crazy. Interesting.
So where are we as of today?
Anyways, but here it looks like it kind of had trouble with the 128-day moving average, but like I said, it's an average, and maybe that was kind of, maybe it didn't clear it hard enough. I'm not sure. So after passing back down through it, it doesn't look like we've really closed above it.
No.
Ever since then. We've kind of flirted with it, but never like closed above it kind of sufficiently. But just so happens that with the recent recovery in prices that had occurred, we did break above it, and this looked like a beautiful trading opportunity actually. So now the question is, are we going to bounce off it and go back up? Because here's another thing I have never seen happen. I've never seen it act in. I've seen it act. We've seen it act as resistance. Look, it's acting as resistance here. This is resistance. Resistance. But I've never really seen it act as support. It seems like once it is headed back down toward it, the momentum in it being an altcoin is like, it seems like the momentum to go up or down is going to it essentially has I guess a word that comes to mind is beta is pretty high, and so like if you were to say moving against Bitcoin, how does it behave? It's going to be more extreme. And so I'm tempted to say it doesn't hold here. I would watch for a close below this. We did close below it here, but the next day disinvalidated that. We came back up and then closed above. So what we want to see is kind of like if we get like a close below. Anytime we get a close below, you could essentially set up a short trade, and then use this as the stop loss, like just above it as a stop loss. This is stuff I look for when I'm trading. That's a brilliant little maneuver right there. And I'm going to, let me get the pricing for you on it. I don't know what I just do. I do that. Sorry. So if you guys want to trade, bear in mind it's still risky. We have 121 and 30 cents. I would go a bit farther. I would go to the low from this, like kind of this. I guess this is the past week. This looks like an intra-week low. It could be a day off or so, but it's still going to be valid. So we have 116. Yeah, 116 and 10 cents. It's not at all a bad trade to. Like, and you can play this by using if you have a leveraged trading account somewhere, then you can profit to the short side. So if somebody were to put a stop loss at about 115 and 99 cents or so, or to open a short a sell order of Ethereum USD, and then put the stop loss back up here at 121. You have a lot of upside, but your loss and your downside is about $5 per Ethereum. So that's pretty manageable. You could even short just like, if you want, you could risk $50 and short about 10. It's super conservative, and you might see Ethereum go all the way back down to test these levels again. And that was around like $85. So your upside is it's really nice. It's basically $30 per an Ethereum, and your loss side is only about $5 on this trade. So that's an excellent opportunity.
Cool, awesome. Well, we're approaching the 1 hour mark. Why don't we just wrap up?
All right. Sorry, I went on some tangents there as usual.
No, it's all good. Can't see you. Oh, I see you now.
So you're going to the conference today, right?
Yeah. So yeah, guys. So I'm headed to the conference, and I'll share
some panels.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull that up right now. Actually, Let's see. All right. So today, if I get there soon, let me see. Agenda, schedule. Tokenized assets and demand for new financial services. Oh, one that I'm excited about. Investing in security tokens. Retail brokers are coming to crypto. Are you ready? That could be interesting. What else? What?
That does sound like a good one.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one. Yeah.
Because we were just talking about exchange stuff earlier in this, so.
With BitMEX?
We talked about it in this video. Yeah.
Yeah.
BitMEX and some others.
And then I'm excited about what else? Technical structuring of security tokens. Is this the end or just the beginning for cryptos? Very dramatic. Anyway, so we'll see. Yeah, it's today and tomorrow. I'll keep you guys posted. But hey, Sean. So as well, I wanted to tell everyone, make sure to follow Opti Token on Twitter. You guys started doing as well trading masterminds, right? Is what you were telling me.
Well, online? No, I hate that word mastermind. We don't those always seem seedy. Those are always seedy. It's just a trading seminar.
Trading seminars, yes, online.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to figure out a way to. I mean, we're a smaller project. We're a cult, project. We have a great following. It's big, but at the end of the day, it's nowhere near the Ethereums, the Neos, these there's some we're not there yet. So we're just trying to figure out more revenue streams, especially in this bear market. We'd like to be not throw caution to the wind in the bear market. It's a lot easier. It's a better idea to be more conservative. When you're dealing with shorting at all, if you are, or just scalping to the down. Anything to the downside is going to be a little more risky than stuff to the upside. So. That being said, it's just a new idea to bring in revenue stream.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
The cool thing about it, and we kind of want you in on this, Luna, and so the part about it is we want to kind of help people do some actual profitable trades to help pay back for the seminar. Mm-hmm. So I mean, then it's win-win. What's not to like about that?
Totally, I love that idea. Awesome. So make sure to follow Sean's team, Opti Token, on Twitter. I'm also going to include in the description his Telegram group as well. And most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us grow. Share it with your network as well. We're going to do this on a weekly basis. And then also excited, I'm going to bring back the podcast as well. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
And I'll keep you posted as well on the conference. So thank you guys. Bye.